All right.
Should we start?
Cool. I think we can all start. And then for anyone who is be joining later, they can keep following us on the live streaming. So thank you, Chief, for this wonderful opportunities. Good morning from Ho Chi Minh City. I think that you should say, I'm sorry, good evenings from Ho Chi Minh City. I think that you probably would say good morning from US, right? So
Yeah.
welcome to me.
Thank you so much, ADP and Chi Ling. I just firstly want to thank the ADP for this amazing opportunity for me to just share my experience around debate in Yale, and I'm just very grateful to be here and grateful to have this opportunity to talk about myself. And I hope that whatever I bring in today's seminar will be some type of motivation, encouragement, or like inspiration for everyone who's joining to, maybe one day apply to US college or just join debate in general. And I think, I hope everybody will enjoy, and I shall get started. Firstly,
Cool.
I just want to, so sorry.
No, cool. Yeah. So, well, we do appreciate your experience as well as academics achievements, how far you have made into Yale. So why would you share a little bit about yourself? And I also think that there is pretty much of the reason why we would select you to be one of the great example. So we wanted to share with parents and students at VDP how far you have made it to you. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much for your kind words. I will just briefly talk about myself and just everything. So about me, my name is Nguyễn Khánh Chi, and currently I am a freshman at Yale University. I am studying ethics, politics, and economics, and I come here with very luckily with 70% of my the school covering for my fees. So I'm just very grateful. So generally, the type of achievement that I put on my profile and when I introduce myself as a debater, there are several things I would talk about. Firstly, that I'm proudly a member of Team Vietnam in 2022. And during my time, we went into octofinals in World School Debate Championship. And it's a great honor to represent my country and debate on such a global sphere. Secondly, I also joined many local tournaments, and one of it is Hanoi Debate Tournament. And there's a little bit of echo. So so I was the champion of Hanoi Debate Tournament with the team names Candy Crush. Yes, and I was top 3 best speaker within the tournament. And lastly, I was also grand finalist in World School Debate Open. This was when I was in Team Vietnam, and we teamed up together and joined different international tournaments representing Vietnam. And yes, that's all for my debate achievement. Yes, I will continue.
Cool. So also one of these there was a list of debates achievements here, which I saw that it also play a significant impacts on your application, right? However, I do think that there was pretty more on the US application checklist. So could you please share a bit more?
Of course, and I think that debate alone would not set me out as an applicant. I think that it has to be combined with other very important elements that I will share right now. But before I share all of this checklist, I want to say that what I'm saying is just from a more personal point of view and personal experience. And it's just one way into getting into Yale or just US college. And I don't think that anyone here should take my word as doctrine that you need to follow it to get into any prestigious college. I think that there are many different ways. And I think that I just because I got into Yale doesn't mean that I know the whole application process and what it looks like. So I want you guys to take this with a grain of salt and also remind yourself that there are also other ways for you to stand out, not just debate. But here is my experience, here's my advice, and here is what I can offer you with all that I've gone through. Okay, so firstly is through GPA. I think that for a top 50 university, the GPA that you should have should fall around 3 to 3.5 GPA. And if we convert it into like the Vietnamese system, it's usually above an 8 on a 10 grade 10 on a 10 scale. Yeah. And also for Yale, since it's a more selective university, I think in order to secure your spot, you should have like a 4.0 GPA, which is equivalent to above 9 or 9.3. Yeah, so it varies between the different college that you go to. But for me, when I got in, I think it also falls around 3.9 and 4.0 GPA. Yeah, so I think that's the prerequisite. I think that you should show that you have the knowledge and you're capable to deal with the college workload through your GPA. Secondly, is through standardized tests. That looks like IELTS and SAT. I think for most of top 50 schools, the range of 7 to 7.5 IELTS is enough, and above a 1400 would be great. I think that some college have a transition to being like SAT as an optional thing rather than mandatory. But I think that if your school has it like is not known by the college yet, I think that in order to prove that your grade is valid and that your school doesn't have like grade inflation, having SAT is just like a credible way to tell the US university that yes, I am capable to handle the workload in college. And yes, for more selective university like Yale, I think in order to get in, 8.0 IELTS should be the bare minimum and 1500 SAT. But I've heard from many of my friends that some of them did get a lower than 1500. So I think that falling around this range is good. I think that Yale's also SAT optional. So if you are struggling with SAT in general, I don't think you should be too harsh on yourself, but do meet around the bare minimum. And yes, for my grades, I got an 8.5 IELTS and a 1500 SAT super score. So kind of just fall right into the IELTS and SAT category. So lucky me. Lastly,
No,
is your
it's actually a lot of work. It's actually a lot of work. It's not lucky you. But
no, but of course it comes with a lot of hard work, of course, but I think that there are also a lot of lucky elements that come into play too. I think that this whole college.
Definitely. Yeah, but also there's much more components in your applications, right? We can talk later on how did you manage all these things when you were a high school student. But for sure, what else is also play an important role in the checklist right here?
Yes, of course. Continuing is on CV. I think it's like the cover, like the resume. It's like a list of activities that you can show the schools what you have done over the year. And I think that one thing to note is that when you write your CV, you shouldn't write each activity as 1 year. I think you should show a more longevity in your activity. Even if you don't engage with that activity from freshman year to like senior year, I think that just show that you still kind of be involved in the process some way, shows that you're not doing it just because you're applying to college. You're doing it because you're passionate about it and that you care about the community. And I think that's very important within the CV. This is something that my counselor told me about and something that I keep in mind when I join a lot of these activities. And I think next is on extracurriculars. This is where that I think I stand out the most and that I invested most of my time in. There are 3 things that can be kind of fall onto extracurricular. It can be any passion projects that you have. I think that a lot of young people nowadays, they create their own organization, own business, own clubs. These are passion projects. And I think that if you're able to tell the college why your club is meaningful and it's helpful to your community, it's very, very.
Did you run any clubs? And did you run any clubs in the past?
I think that clubs, I think with Jiao from my school, we did run and help with running the debate club within our school. And I think Like that could also be a passion project. Another passion project that I did was on like a debate cookbook. It is part of the a part of the fundraising for Team Vietnam. And Do Anh and I come up together with this idea, and then we kind of like sell a cookbook in a format of like interviews with debaters around the world in order to humanize debate as a sport. Because I think that
recipes of success inside the book, or why you
yeah,
call it a cookbook?
yes, perfect. Yeah, because it has both the recipe for the food and recipe for success from like prominent debaters within the community. Yeah, so that passion project, I think, is also one thing that is quite funny and unique. So I think that just try your best to think of something that shows a side of you, you know? I think that you should never put on your application like the executive of a company or whatnot. I think something that really show your quirky side or something that show your uniqueness, because most of the admission officers aren't like CEOs and bosses and whatnot. They're humans. And I think that knowing that, and when you make your passion project, make sure that you are passionate about it, and that shows uniqueness. So advice. I think secondly is on longevity of the project. I think I've already mentioned this, but you should invest a lot of your time in it, or like even if you don't invest, always stay involved. Lastly, something that can also fall into extracurricular is like awards or achievements from like more competitive sports. Like for me, it's debate. And for many people, it's like varsity sports, like basketball, like football and whatever. But I think that also falls into extracurriculars. Fifthly is on your essay. I think that a lot of people, because they focus so much on their SAT and their IELTS, they forget that essay is actually one of the, if not the most important element of the US college application. I think essay just says so much about you because you're writing about yourself, because SAT and IELTS is just number. Essay is how you communicate with the admission officer about your dreams, about your potential. And I think that if you write well, you able to tap into the emotions of the admission officer. This is way more powerful than getting a 1600 SAT, because most of kids here probably have 1600 SAT. So in order for you to stand out as a Vietnamese applicant, you need to have something special, and it needs to be
How much you get for your SAT?
Oh, I got a 1500. Huh?
Okay. So it's 1600 or 1500?
No, 1500 and 15. Oh my God, I can't imagine. I was so stressed about my SAT because like I know that the average is like above 1500, I think. And it was a big concern, but I think that I just stopped worrying about that and focus more on my essay. And I think that's also a recipe for success. And lastly, something that I don't hear often is teacher recommendation, and is also a very, very, very important part in the college application. But I think I will get into this later. Firstly, on extracurriculars and what I have done, there are 5 main things that I've done. Firstly, on debate, of course, I was in the national team. I did a lot of debate, but I think that it doesn't stop just as debate, because everyone in Yale probably does debate at some point in their life. And I think that something that I want to say is that debate is just as a point for you to do other things. For me, from debate, I does a lot of teaching. I does a lot of like community service, hosting workshops or judging local tournaments or hosting local tournaments, or creating a cookbook, right? I think that debate is just one thing, but what you do with debate to contribute to your community and help uplift the people around you is what more important, because everybody can be a debater.
You still continue with debate at Yale? Do you have sort of debate society within college, or how would you continue with all the debate activities?
Oh, yes. I'm so glad that you mentioned this, because I am in Yale Debate Association, and the application process can be quite cruel. But now that I'm in the team, it's so amazing. I meet so many wonderful people, and right now I'm actually joining a tournament, but because of the seminar, I'm dropping out of one round. to, tell you guys about my experience, but debate is just so fun. And like in a college level, you don't do debate just because of high school. You do debate because you're actually passionate about it. And I think that meeting people who have the same type of mindset is just very, very, just a community for me and something that I always look forward to do. And yeah, so that's for debate. Secondly, is that I did a lot of journalism. This is something that I don't talk much about, but it's I did a feminist, like I was an editor for a feminist journal magazine. Yes, online magazine. It's called Alzai Collective. So in this community of women, we talk a lot about like insecurities, how the patriarchy can be harmful to women, and how like gender and social norms inhibits women from fully expressing themselves, and how we talk about a range of topics, and it's very focused on feminism. And I think that's also an interesting thing. Also, another type of journalism I did was all in school. In high school, I was the like editor and chief editor for my local high school newspaper. So yes, that's also good. I did teaching also. I think that's very self-explanatory. I teach kids debate, and I think that maybe that helps with community service and all. Research paper, yes, I think that I should emphasize this because that research paper has become more important. Like I think that for some reason, all of the people that I've met here that got into Yale, usually they have research paper. This is not something that is widely talked about, I feel, from my community. So I want to emphasize that if you're able to find a mentor, if you're able to write about a topic that you're passionate about and you know well, and that you are willing to discover and like work more on it, I think that you should write a research paper. And I think that I've been hearing this, that people like buy research paper and like lazily do it. And I think that the college admission do catch on this. Like they do know when you fake your research paper and when you actually do it. Because when you write your research paper, you can't write like a professor. You can't write like a college
but it also showing your very deep analysis, understanding, a lot of hard work and contribution, and how you was passionate about the topic, how well you understand, how much work and dedication you help to put it on, right? So
exactly. Yes, that's so true. So exactly, this research paper shows that you have a willingness to learn and explore, and that's something that you as college in general very keen on. And I think that if you're able to afford to, do that much research, I think that it's very, very worth it. Lastly is on community service. I think that what I've talked about, that debate, journalism, research paper, they all independently good, but I think that the way I do it is tie it to how I help my community. I think that like how I help like de-tackle a lot of the patriarchic norms, or like how I help kids from underfunded schools or clubs or like areas in the country to learn about debate. Or, community service could also look like when I'm in school, when I was the president of the student council, I also help making events and hosting events and create like reforms in school. I think that's also community service. And I think that, yeah, I don't think that you should help a broad society, but you also should focus on your school community, because I think that that's where you're able to, contribute the most, right? You have the most support from the school. So that's for my extracurriculars. Next on my essay, I think for Yale essay question, there's some generic one. That means that there's some colleges have the same question. For example, why Yale? Why you choose our college? Why major? Why do you pick this major to study in college? A topic that excites you, an additional box that you want to talk about anything. A lot of these short questions, you don't have a lot of time to talk about everything and everywhere. So for why Yale, do a lot of research into the values of the school and what the school usually like wants their student to be. For Yale, it's like a more community service type of school. So like for Harvard, maybe it's something more like entrepreneurs or like something that leader of the world or whatnot. But I think for Yale, it's more something like how you help your community around you. And I when I did my research, that's how I shaped my essay, and that's how I shaped my CV as a whole. Why major is like not only telling them that you're interested in a topic, but also show with your activities that you are interested in this topic. I actually applied as the politics and history major. And because I wrote my research paper on history in the politics of Vietnam before, after the Mới reform. So like that falls right into my major, right? Politics and history. So always prove that you are interested, not just say.
How did you started growing your interest about economics or politics when you were still pretty young, when you were in high school and applying for college, right? Where did all your interest started from?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because I joined debate, like I've never been interested in economics or history before debate, but because debate forces me to learn and research and like engage in difficult conversation, that's the reason why like I became more curious and more excited to learn. I think that because most people are scared by the idea of learning politics, but I think that once you're able to get out of your comfort zone and learn through debate.
So that's actually a lot of academics thing then. Let's talk about something fun and exciting then. So can you share a little bit about some of these fun, interesting moments when you was doing politics or economics with your debate teammates or teacher? Who is the one who usually you talk to? Who is the one that start, I don't know, getting you inspired with politics, that you can enjoy hours to talking with him or her?
That's interesting. I think that, to be honest, I don't think I can pinpoint to exactly one person or exactly one teammate. I think that the whole gradual process of being in a team and being guided, when I was in Team Vietnam, I was guided by my 4 amazing coaches to learn like different, like they host different workshops on different topics. And like, I think that it's just like this simple conversations that I can't like think on, like can't remember on the top of my head right now, but like those small moments builds up, and that's formed my interest in politics and history. But yeah, for a topic that excites you, I think be quirky. Don't say something generic like being rich. No, never. Say something unique. I wrote about how I like neo-Marxism and how like degrowth as a form of model, a topic that was inspired by debate. So a lot of my research is actually based on debate motions. So that's also why. But a topic that excites you, make sure you do your research and know your niche. An additional box, I don't know, talk about anything. A long form question, you have 3 choices. Firstly, you reflect on a time that you discuss an important issues, holding an opposing view, or secondly, reflect on your community, and lastly, talking about like an element of your personal experience. I think that I chose the second one because the first one I already talked so much about debate within my essay. I chose the second one to talk about how when I was in like the feminist community and the feminist like organization, what I did to help my community. So I think that it depends on the strength of your application, but I think you should always try to write as most of your activities within the essay, but not as like a list. Don't try to make it as a list, but make it as a story and make it about yourself and make it personal. Don't repeat what's on the CV, but shape what is on the CV. So yes, that's a long question. It depends on you. And for the personal essay, I don't know. I think that people always trying to force themselves to write the most emotional and touching story ever. And it didn't work for me. Like I didn't write the most sad or happy story ever to be told, but I just show myself. I think it's more important that you show a part of yourself that is important rather than creating like like a story that people will remember for decades. I think that's really hard and impossible almost, but like if you always trying to hold yourself at that expectation, then it can be very stressful. So just say something that means a lot to you rather than something that you want the officer to hear. That's my advice. Next is teacher recommendation. I think that not a lot of people talk about this, but I think it is extremely, extremely important. So you choose two of your teachers and to write your teacher recommendation. And I think that you should build a good relationship with these teachers, like for like longer, like way longer before this application start, so that you make sure that you let the teachers know all about you. And yeah, I think when you ask them to write a teacher recommendation, I think that you should communicate with them about what you want them to possibly write about, because within the US rules, you can't read the teacher recommendation, and I don't encourage you guys to do so anyways, because I don't think it's fair. But yeah, for teacher recommendation, you want them to kind of support everything that you say, because a lot of your college application right now is just you talking about yourself and what you do, but there's nobody confirming that. There's nobody from an objective third party to confirm that you did all this. So teacher recommendation usually
it's also very, it's actually also very important at work as well. I think I grow like slowly. Once you grow to be professional, you also need to have reference check from your company, your peer, your college, your mentor, your supervisor. So basically, this is how you start slowly growing your network, growing your credit checks with your peers, your teacher, your mentor. So it's actually very, very important. I think that there was a certain barrier within Vietnamese student. They don't really grow this strong relationship since they were young, because I think that there was a gap there, right? There was a distance between you and your teacher at school, while Vietnamese students tend to respect the teacher. So in that sense, they are not really open to talk about that. However, I think that definitely teacher want to help to give out all of this, especially if they know that you are preparing to go to Yale or any US college. So definitely reach out to a teacher, talk with your mentor, looking up to someone that you think that their experience or their contribution, their letter of recommendation would be helpful for your applications.
Yes, that's great advice. I think that I was fortunate enough to study at an international school where like teachers and students relationship tends to be a little bit more informal, and that's helped with like developing a relationship. So I think that that was on my end like something that I'm very grateful for. But I think that if you don't have this relationship, I think that it's still good to try and ask, and like, you know, just small little things. I think all teachers all want to connect with their students at some extent, right? I think that next is on achievements, right? Because even though you want your teachers to confirm all of your achievements, don't send them over a ton of achievements, because I think that they will be trying to include everything in, and that makes teacher recommendation less personal. I think that teacher recommendation should be as personal as it gets, because it shows another side of you. If it's just a list of awards and achievement, then you already did that in your CV. So if you want to send over some achievement, very targeted one. So when I asked my Mr. Toby, my math teacher, I just sent some like activities within the school that I did. Like we did some like events together, like you can see here, like the Christmas event, Secret Santa. So yeah, so I asked him to write something about that. And for my Vietnamese history teacher, I asked about her process helping me writing my own historical research paper. So see, very targeted aspect of your resume. Don't try to mush everything in one teacher recommendation. It's not good. But okay, next. I think now let's get into the US campus tour for World Scarlet Cup 2023.
Yes, which is also one of the exciting reasons why we welcome you here with us. So good news, Guy. So this year, we are taking one of the US campus tour for students to go to US under the supervision and guidance of Chi. So welcome Chi on board, and thank you for taking this opportunity. We do think that Chi set a great example for students, as well as someone who are preparing for your applications, I don't know, in the next few years or within 2 years. So during the tour, we are taking students to several college and university across like town nearby you, right? Within 2-hour drive from New York. We visit Columbia University. Last year, we was having section right on the campus of Columbia with Phương. This year, we expect a new coming guest. We also visit potential NYU and Princeton's as well. We also have tour in Boston. Some of the kids and parents last year took tour to Boston U or Harvard, MIT, Yard. So those is actually a very wonderful experience that you can share with, I don't know, potential college or your Vietnamese student prospective guests that you are meeting or seeing around. So this is also a great opportunity. The US campus tour is actually something that's very unique in the US itself, I think, where you got a chance to visit the admissions department, talk a little bit more whether you fit the school or not, choose your major, know about your college when you were still high school. So definitely one of the great opportunities for you to get your first exposures before you start your US life. So Chi, what's up for this year?
I think that, yeah, I think you covered most of it, right? Like the fact that we're able to visit like a lot of different universities in Yale, Columbia, and possibly schools in Massachusetts and Boston. I think that one thing that I will say though is about how I think this is a great opportunity. I haven't visited the US before I came to Yale, so I feel like I've never really seen all my options and see whether or not there's the better fit for me. And the fact that some kids here are lucky enough or like actually are great enough to able to like go on all of these campus tours, I think that you were able to discover where you fit best, where you like best. And I think that you also get a unique sense of what the school wants and like how the school community is like. And I think that it just provides you a great opportunity to, you know where you're going and where you want to apply. It dictates your future. And I think that is an amazing opportunity for everyone. I think because I'm from Yale, so I can speak for my experience and what it's like, and my focus will be how Yale are able to have such a vibrant history and like great campus life. I think that there are just several information off the top. It's like Yale has 14 residential colleges. If you think about, like, if you watch Harry Potter, they have 4 like main colleges, right? Like Gryffindor, Slytherin, Hufflepuff. Yale has 14, and that is like, I think that is just a crazy number. And each of them has their own little campus, like own little college inside of Yale, and that they have their own families, own experience, own activities, own dining hall, own libraries. And I think that there's just so much variety and you can never really fully explore the place. And being here for 3 months, I don't think that I have discovered like 50% of the campus. And I think that's just so exciting to like always find something new and always find something exciting to do, right? Right now I'm in like, there's knitting club and there's like pottery club if you're artistic, there's orchestra, and I think that there's just so much variety that you can do and join in Yale, and I'm excited to show you all of that. There's also within the local community, there are also like a lot of festivals and like food fairs that you can explore, and the diversity in restaurants here is also amazing. And like you can always find something comforting from home if you're like for me, I like eating at Tiger Daddy. It's like a hot pot place near here. And I think that, yeah, there's just so much diversity in restaurant that I think discovering the city as a whole can be exciting, not just through Yale. And yes, I think several things that I will like several places I will bring you guys on this tour is very like this 5 main thing that everybody should visit. Firstly is the old campus. Old campus is where the freshman lives, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful like courtyard. It's not a courtyard, it's like a place. And it's like has a lot of trees and statues. And I think it's just a very, very wonderful place to live. And there are so many dogs and people walking by. And I can't describe it, but you will able to see it if you join. Secondly is the Sterling Library. It is so beautiful. It's like a church. It's literally like a church, and every intricate detail in architecture there is, I am in awe of it every single day that I'm walking by. So I think that people will enjoy this place too. The thirdly is the Beneke Library. This is the famous library where there's like glass around the books and everything. I think some of you here might have seen the picture, but it's famous for keeping the oldest book in like the world, right? The Beneke, oh wait, not the, what's the Bible? Gutenberg Bible. Yes, the Gutenberg Bible, one of the oldest texts in history. And I think that the fact that they still preserve all of these like old texts is just incredible. It's very impressive once you're in there. My parents, when they went there, they always like, they took a lot of pictures. Nextly is the Shortman Center. It's where people, like you can see here, kids eat in the dining hall. It can be a dining hall, but whenever there's event, like whenever there's like a winter formal, which is like a prom, a winter prom, they will set up this whole place into like a party scene. And this Halloween, there will be a Yale Symphony Orchestra. So they will be having like concerts and like, yeah, so they will build a stage around here and there will be a lot of guests. So yeah, this place is very impressive too. Lastly is the lecture halls. Yale has a diversity in the type of lecture hall. Okay, I can't actually show the place around me, but there are old ones like William Harkness Hall, which is like, it's a more interactive space where people are sitting together around the table to have discussion. But there's also lecture hall in terms of like, there's a big stage where the professor stands and they talk through slides and everything. And they're also like seminar style. So there's just so much diversity, and it's not just old. Yale is not just an old Oxford type of class or like school. It also has modern aspect to it because it's also modernizing, and it's also like including like different art styles. So I'm just very excited for you to visit Yale because it has been such an amazing experience for me to explore here. And now, life at Yale. I think that I can talk all about this because life here is so, it goes beyond my expectation of how great it could get. So academic experience, firstly, is they have like a lot of 80 majors around. So, and I think that just gives you so much of variety and choice in terms of what class you want to take and what type of future that you can, create from that. I think that the fact that you can also double major, or there are joint majors, like for me, it's ethics, politics, and economics, right? So that also gives me more option in terms of what I want. There's also ethnicity, race, and migration. There's also computer science and psychology. And I think that those joint majors can also be very exciting to learn. Also note that Yale is not just like other university. We also we have a liberal arts type of curriculum. That means that you have redistributional requirements. That means that you have to explore a lot of fields. So 2 science credit, 2 writing credit, 2 math critical QR thinking type of credit, 2 social science credit, 2 language credit. That means that you have to learn a new language. So I think that this forces us to really explore the academic scene, and it can be very exciting. I have been learning from really great professors and people who are genuinely happy and passionate about teaching, and it can be a very inspiring process. Yeah, each major also have a DUS, so department head. So they usually help you, guide you through the process. If you want to be in this major, they will say, you need to do this class, you need to do that class, you can explore these class. So it's very helpful. There's always counselors that help you. And there are more than 500 active student clubs and special interest group. So you always have a choice to discover what you like. Because like for me this year, besides from debate, I also joined like the knitting club, and actually I only joined the knitting club, but because I should explore more.
Anyway, so how far with the experience at Yale? Was it worth it, or TH school was a better experience?
Oh, I'm so sorry, but Yale was so much better. No. I think that TH school did give me a lot of resources and opportunity, and I'm forever happy and grateful, and I appreciate them. But I can't, like, it's not comparable. Yale has so much resources, and they have so much, like, it's just, the clubs and the special interest groups, everyone is so enthusiastic about what they want and what they do. It's just very inspiring to have a community that is always so enthusiastic about everything, and I feel like they match my energy more. So yeah, so student clubs and whatnot. So now it's onto the resources that Yale provide you. I actually, when I first got in, I was kind of overwhelmed by how much support they give me. Like, they made me do, like, I have a personal librarian. That means if I want a book and I can't find a book, I email them. And like, there's also college advisor in terms of like your academic stuff and your like all your coursework. If you have problems sorting out courses and stuff, you have that. You also have writing tutors, because if you're struggling to write an essay, they will help you with writing it and brainstorming it and walk you through the process. We have peer liaisons. That means that it's like there are different peer liaisons. That means that you can be one from the cultural clubs or one that is like from your residential college, and they're like a friend to you, and they also provide you with advice and just personal life at Yale in general. There's also your FROCO, your first year counselor. My FROCO lives near me. Like, they live like a door away. So like, if you have any trouble with anything at all, they will be there and listen to you. And I think that the fact that Yale provides so much resources and help in general, I think can be very helpful for a kid like me, who is obviously an international kid that's trying to adapt to the American culture and also adapt to the American life, right? So like, all of these can be very, very helpful. So
yeah,
I think
that for now we only have very few minutes, because I know that you have one debate round right after. So let's talk about one of the last part. I think that all people would like to listen your debate experience, how debate has really helped you to make it into Yale. Who is your mentor, and who is the one that helped you to start it with debates, and many more. So please, Chi.
yes, sorry for taking too long.
Yeah, we save the best.
I was just so
last
passionate.
story. By the way, for parents, if you have any question, just feel free to ask. We will have 15 minutes of Q&A right after this. So feel free to send questions for Chi. See ya.
Yeah. Okay. Now to WSDC Team Vietnam. I think it's one of the best experience I have like so far in my life. I think that, like, I'm not being extreme when I say that I genuinely love my team. And I remember when we lost the last round, I wasn't even sad that we lost. I was sad that I can't see them again and I can't work with them ever again. And that was like, it was like the people that I've met there and the type of support and love and like everything that I've received under the training by the coaches and everyone. I just feel so immensely grateful. And so like, just like, I think I will get deeper into why I think it's meaningful. But for now, I will firstly talk about the coaches who I owe all my success to. My first two coaches was Ling Rainey, she's from DAV, and Anh Nhật Hùng, who is I don't know what college I don't think he's in college anymore. But they taught me in my first class preparing for Hanoi debate tournament, and a lot of my foundational skills and knowledge were from them, and they inspired me to pursue debate like further. But secondly, it's my coaches from WSDC, that is Coach Haewon, XK, Coach Shita, and Coach Sam. Coach Haewon and Coach Sam are the one that was directly supervising us and living with us. So like sometimes during like after rounds or in rounds, actually after rounds or before the rounds, they would have prep talks with us. They would like make us do vocal trainings and like make us shout stupid things, or like they make us like warm our vocals, or like after the rounds, they would give us really in-depth feedback and like genuine support in general, that I think that I think that all of the things that I've learned from debate was from all those feedback that they gave me. And I was just so happy that they were just such a pillar of like support during such a like difficult time, because being WSDC Vietnam can be very stressful, but they make this they make this experience so much memorable, especially when it's online, and the fact that they are able to do that is just incredibly crazy good. And I think that what else? They also host a lot of workshops on different skills, and that means that like there are also workshops on styles, workshop on economics, workshop on social movement. So I think that it's because they're able to tailor to the needs of the team, it's so much more personal and so much more in depth. And the fact that we're able to have drills and practice with these people, and I just think that it just provides so much more like, I guess like accelerated training, so that we're able to compete on a like global sphere. I think that, yeah, and it's all free. And I think that the fact that they did this out of voluntary, like just there's no beneficial in type of money, and the fact that they spent all their time helping us and nurture us, I think that is just so just incredible. And lastly, that a lot of the ideas I have for other activities, for example, for teaching, for like judging different tournaments, or like for my own research paper, was inspired by my coaches. One of the motion was on like degrowth, and that idea of degrowth helped me to form my own research paper that I wrote for my A level, and I got an A star on. So I think that just conversing with these super talented human beings forms very meaningful relationships and ideas that help me grow, not just as a debater, but as a person as a whole. And I think that if you're able to ever try out for Team Vietnam, I highly encourage you to do so, because yeah, it's just an absolutely wonderful experience, and you will learn just so much and grow just so much in the span of like what, 3 months, 5 months. Yeah, so that's how they have inspired me, and how the team has created the person that you're seeing today and being able to sit in Yale. So
cool.
That's it for
yes. And any memories, experience for a small class with VAT at the beginning, or per se the BDP small at the beginning? Where would you start, right?
Oh, for VADP classes, I think that I was actually taught under Engvat. So I think that a lot of my experience in debate is like shaped by the stories that Engvat told me. So he doesn't teach debate in a very, like, he doesn't teach debate technically, like not technically by that, like he doesn't teach debate in like, oh, here are 5 ways to do rebuttals, here are 10 ways to approach this topic. He always tells a story with his class, and I find that very helpful for me, because I can't remember all 5 ways to do rebuttals, but I can like remember the brief story he talks about, like the Middle East and the like China, the stories of China and the Chinese development. The fact that he has so much knowledge about history and about the world, it makes it so much easier for me to understand in the form of the story and a narrative. And I think that it's always helpful, because he provides me the foundational skills to firstly apply to see Vietnam, but secondly to just debate in general. Like because when you're in debate, there's just so much topics out there. There's just so much topic about international relations, about politics, about economies. But the fact that he was able to taught me that when I was in grade 10, who is like, I think that it's mind-blowing that he's able to make all these messages so simple and easy to understand. And yeah, I think very helpful.
So it's actually also the story of how VAP was started, right? It was started with a small classroom of the founder, VAT, who was very passionate with debate. He was started with teaching someone like you guys. I think that growing along with Team Vietnam in the following years as well, I met Diêu Anh and Thế Việt somewhere around the campus. I think most of them has made it into the US, but I think that all the passions for a lot of Vietnamese debater was all started from that small classes. So I was joining VAPs later, which is, I don't know much about you guys, but just how far I've seen you guys made it to, to your college, to your professional, to your academics experience. I think that debate has really helped you guys to turn how you are to be today. So very glad to have a talk or have this panel discussion with you for today. Wonderful topics, and yeah, congratulations to make it into Yale. I think that in the next 4 years, you will grow so far just from how you have started to contribute to the community, to the society, willing to give it back, sharing your opinions, willing to help. That's actually a lot. And thanks for being our guest for today. So audience and guests, we have for 15 minutes Q&A. Any questions? We are open pool for question for parents and students. So feel free to ask Chi. Nếu trong trường hợp mà các quý phụ huynh và các bạn có câu hỏi gì cho bạn Chi thì mình cũng có thể mở speaker, hoặc là các phụ huynh có thể để lại tin nhắn hoặc là bình luận dưới. Thì sau đó chúng em sẽ chọn một số các câu hỏi để trả lời trong buổi workshop ngày hôm nay. Okay, we have questions coming. Cho em hỏi làm thế nào để vào đội tuyển WSDC ạ? So how do you apply to WSDC Team Vietnam?
The question is in Vietnamese, right? So should I answer in Vietnamese?
Yeah, cool.
Yes. Yeah. Ok, thì chị nghĩ là apply vào đội tuyển thì thứ nhất là trước khi em apply thì em phải có một cái hồ sơ trước. Thì hồ sơ của em nên là em hãy kiểu thử rất là nhiều các tournament khác, là các tournament nhất quyết là phải là tiếng Anh nhá, những cái tournament bằng tiếng Anh để người ta biết là ok, em có khả năng tranh biện và em có khả năng tranh biện bằng tiếng Anh. Và nếu mà em mà có một cái hồ sơ mà em đã tham gia nhiều cuộc thi quốc tế và tham gia nhiều cuộc thi ở trong nước mà em đạt được những giải tốt và giải cao ấy, thì cái khả năng mà em được nhận vào team nó sẽ lớn hơn. Thì đội tuyển Việt Nam thì có 2 phần hay 3 phần? 3 vòng bây giờ ấy. Một vòng thứ nhất là vòng về hồ sơ là top 24, và sang vòng thứ hai là sẽ là vòng về kiểu đấu. Trong cái top 24 đấy thì mọi người phải đấu, có cái vòng casting với nhau, thì mọi người phải đấu với nhau để xem là ai tốt ai xấu, không phải xấu mà là ai tốt, ai có khả năng mà debate ở level cao ấy. Thì để em chuẩn bị cho cái đấy thì chị nghĩ là có rất là nhiều cái tài liệu online mà em có thể tìm hiểu ấy. Chị nghĩ là nếu mà bây giờ có thể là chị không share được cái tài liệu, nhưng mà có rất là nhiều cái workshop online mà được kiểu nếu mà em để là characterization workshop hay là framing workshop các thứ thì mọi người em sẽ thấy được rất là nhiều cái tài liệu đấy, và em có thể học theo những cái người mà người ta dạy ý. Thì chị nghĩ là đấy là cách mà chị học. Thứ hai là chị cũng đọc và tìm hiểu rất là nhiều những cái tài liệu về chính trị và thế giới. Thì chị nghĩ là nếu mà em có một cái sự hiểu biết rộng về thế giới, và em có sự hiểu biết kiểu về những cái topic mà debate thường nói, chẳng hạn như là chính trị hoặc là chẳng hạn như là lịch sử